non-Asian person, mother and father both Methodist ministers, were concerned about their 19-year-old boy who just got to University of Leeds, was living in a house full of people who are predilected to be homosexuals. They were alarmed that our son will go that way. They brought him to me to cure him, if I can use the word in inverted commas.
Right.
And I tell them, look, I cannot but talk to him and see what he comes out with. So putting the cart before the horse is all I can offer. And in this day and age, in the West, I mean, if I was living in India or Pakistan, when there is society is more conformity, and especially in a Muslim society or Sikh society where this kind of things are not acceptable, maybe he'll have easy right to become adjusted to being heterosexual. But in a society like this, you have to be very careful that you don't push a person to be what he doesn't want to be.
This is a very interesting conversation. There's a lot more to come. You're watching Broken Silence. We'll be back after this short break. Hi, welcome back to Broken Silence. I'm Sanyya Gardez. Tonight we're talking about a subject that's so taboo in Asian households that we pretend it doesn't exist, homosexuality. Joining me to discuss this a little further is Pav Akhtar, and still on our panel is Dr. Qureshi. Pav, tell us a little bit about your experience.
When I was very young, I was about 6, 7, my mother said to me, "You're going to bring home a daughter-in-law for me." So she kind of expected me to be gay from such a very, very young age.
So you were showing tendencies from as far back as you can remember?
Quite obviously I was, yeah.
Right, okay. So then were you allowed to explore your sexuality and figure it all out?
I did, probably without their permission, a lot of it, but when I got 19, when I turned 19, they sort of expected me to get married as well, so I had an arranged marriage when I was 19.
How did you feel about that? Were you really conflicted?
Yeah, but I felt rather than living a lifestyle that would obviously get me abuse and
Were you in
verbal abuse.
Pakistan or were you here?
I was here. I went to Pakistan and got married in Pakistan.
Okay.
Came back.
How did that work out for you?
I was married for 2.5 years, so I'd give it a try. That's another. I think that's another program.
Well, did that feel unnatural to you? I mean,
no, far from it.
So you felt that marriage you were being true to yourself?
It was a waste of 2.5 years of my life.
Oh, it was a waste of 2.5 years, right?
Basically,
okay.
But obviously it's an experience. Everything in life's an experience. So.
How did you leave that situation? Did you then tell your husband about...
No, he was violent, so it was another, like I said, that's another program.
Sure, right, okay. Now, we've been discussing whether it's a choice or not, whether homosexuality is a choice, because a lot of the people that are watching us now are of the opinion that people choose to be gay. Right. What's your take on that?
Obviously, from my point of view, it's not. I've always known myself that there's something different about me.
From what age? Right from the beginning?
Yeah, as far back as I can remember. Obviously, my parents spotted that as well. And if anyone I've come out to was like, really? Shock, horror. People knew before me even to a degree.
When did you know? When was that light bulb moment for you when you realized, hold on a second, I'm attracted to females?
Maths on a Monday morning. My maths teacher.
Really? How old were you?
At the time, she's going to know who she is. About 10.
About 10?
Yeah.
And you kind of figured it out that this is the way that I'm going to go.
Martina Navratilova had another part to play in it as well.
Oh, right, okay. So do you think the media made it easier for you to accept your sexuality?
What, me personally?
Yeah.
To accept it?
Yeah.
It helped, yeah, obviously, because it was like, there you go, light bulb moment.
Right.
That's what it is.
Did you ever have that conversation with your family then, where you said, hold on a second, I'm a lesbian?
What, before I got married?
At any point. I mean, was this conversation ever had?
Yes, it was had sort of during my divorce period.
How did that go down? Did you sit them down one day and say, Mom and Dad, let me tell you something?
No. Obviously, my mum knew. So when I said it to her, it was sort of like, "Don't tell your daddy, he'll kill you," expression. And when my dad found out, it was like he just sort of threw it out the window, sort of thing. It was a topic he didn't want to touch upon.
Dr. Qureshi, do you think that parents find it easier when a daughter comes out and says, I'm a lesbian, or is it easier for parents to accept if a son comes out and says he's gay? Does it make a difference?
I don't think so, no. I think they're both extremely excruciating choices to hear from. And the way they handle it sometime depends on the level of their education and also their exposure to the lifestyles that are in today's world becoming more the norm.
Sure.
I think in 20, 30 years ago, in Asian culture, this was an unacceptable paradigm, and there was no question that the good daughter will marry a man and the son will marry a girl. But again, the important thing is there are shades of gray in between, and the way the parent respond to this discussion is imperative and critical to a future dialogue with the child or the person that you want to influence.
Pav, has it been very traumatic for you?
What, coming out?
Coming out, and how did the community respond? How about your extended family?
Nothing. It was just, like I said, most people's reaction was like, really? We knew before you kind of thing.
But do you think the rest of your family is just in denial and they think, let's just not discuss it? I mean, whatever Pav does behind closed doors is just her business. I mean, is this a conversation that takes place?
Yeah, it's talked about all the time. I mean, my nieces and nephews are sort of like, my eldest niece is 28, so she's almost like a sister of that age. And it's family jokes, in meals. My nephews introduced me to their girlfriends and like, steady on Auntie Pav kind of thing.
Right, okay. Well, you seem really well-grounded, and you seem like you've got your head screwed on right. But obviously, people that are homosexual, whether they're a lesbian, whether they're gay, whether they're bisexual, they must have these mental, psychological issues that they're constantly dealing with. Do you find that you are dealing with issues still in regards to your sexuality? Because the lifestyle that you're choosing isn't the norm, it's the exception.
I don't have problems. If I do get any problems, it's probably walking down the street if there's, if we're holding hands or, if we're in a bar and we get stared at, and it tends to be from Asian people more than it does from any other background.
Have you had any kind of verbal attacks or physical attacks from people who know that you're a lesbian who don't agree with it?
Yeah, mainly strangers on the street who,
Verbal abuse?
Yeah, just general verbal abuse.
Would you consider yourself a religious person?
Yes, I am.
How does your faith and your sexuality, how do they fuse together?
Quite well, because my belief, my Gardez is in my heart, it's in my mind, it's in my soul. What I do, sort of after 9 o'clock in the evening or whatever time is, that's a different part of my day. There's people out there who sexually do, in my opinion, do, things which are other people disagree with, but, they still go and lead their everyday life, as Muslims.
People that are watching us today can't get their heads around this concept. Even now, people just don't know how to react, or whether it's, like I said earlier, a lot of people are of the opinion that this is a choice. You're clearly saying it isn't. However, Dr. Qureshi, you did say that for some people, it's peer pressure.
I think also the pressure from the peer group and also the people who lobby for gay and heterosexual, gay and gay people, sometimes can have a negative impact on people who are trying to be understanding of their predicament. Let me give an example. When there was this question of outing, we should come out and declare who you are.
Right.
As I'm wearing my different hat now, she talked about her being a Muslim. I am too. And my attitude to a lot of people that I've met and counseled, I don't like the word treatment because, I don't regard it as an illness, was that if you are comfortable the way you are, that's between you and your God.
Sure.
Now, outing is an issue sometimes in Muslim communities and also religious communities. If I keep it to myself and lead in my life, especially in this country, you have the choice to. But outing means you're going aggressively to have people accept you. Well, a lot of people don't accept lots of things. Like people don't accept alcoholics.